Hi, and welcome to episode 21 of the Passionate Spinner podcast. My name is Tracy. You can find me as Schnüffeltier on Ravelry and Instagram, and thank you so much for being here. I did a long break. I think it's been 5 weeks, 6 maybe, until since my last podcast, because I had my baby and I just couldn't get around to podcasts. So I'm going to podcast today, and there's not a whole lot to show because I didn't knit all that much, so it's gonna be okay. Okay, there's a Ravelry group for the podcast. You can find it at the Passionate Spinner podcast. It would be awesome if you would join because it's so much fun to be there. And there's also a blog which you can find at thepassionatespinner.wordpress.com, where I put up partial show notes, very, very partial, because I just couldn't make the time to write real show notes in the last few months, so I decided to keep it that way. And like I said before, thank you so much for being here. I hope there are still some people out there who want to watch, because like I said, it's been quite a few weeks and I know how this goes, so we'll see. Okay, I'm gonna try and do it like I did before, because if you ever made a podcast yourself, you notice that whenever you stop doing it, you just forget everything. So, okay, what I'm wearing, I'm only wearing socks because it's very warm. Not warm enough to not wear socks, but it's warm enough to not wear any other hand knits. And I'm not going to show you my feet, so we'll just skip that. Knitting in the past. Like I said, my knitting mojo was just gone, and I didn't knit a whole lot since I came home with the baby. I only have 2 finished objects, and they're both itty bitty. I knit a hat for the boy. I know the colors are not super boyish because it's like a teal, or no, more like a turquoise, pink and orange, but it's a hat, so I don't really care. The pattern is called Bits and Pieces. It's by Vera Välimäki. I used Schachenmeier Baby Wolle for this, and a US 1.5, which is a 2.5 millimeter needle. I normally don't use this needle size because I knit very tight, and I normally don't like the fabric that I get. But the hat pattern was written for sizes 3 months up, and I needed a newborn size, so I went down a needle to get the small size, and now it's almost too small. He can wear it for maybe another 2 weeks, and that's it. But it's okay. It looks like this. It's a little bonnet with some nice shaping around here and some short rows, which you totally cannot see at all. And was a quick knit, but like I said, he will not be able to wear it all that long. And to go with that, I made a pair of tube socks, which look like this, because he loses all the socks. No matter what type of sock it is, he just loses them. So I knit those tube socks and hope they will stay on for a little longer. The same yarn, but I did use a US 2, which is way more comfortable for me. And that's it. That's all my knitting in the past for the last 6 weeks. There is a little bit of knitting in the present. Little bit, because I still don't want to knit. I don't know what's wrong. But that's just what it is. I started working up stuff from my Christmas list, which is like that long. And yeah, so I decided to start the first thing that I was interested in. It's gonna be an infinity scarf. I'm gonna seam it up in the end. The pattern is called Boku. It's by Plymouth Yarn. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. And I just went looking for a nice chevron-y pattern because the yarn is somewhat self-striping. And I thought that a chevron would look good with this kind of yarn. So, like I said, it's the Boku pattern by Plymouth Yarn. The yarn is Katja Azteca. That is the Katja Azteca. I'm using a US 8, which is a 5mm needle, and my new Carbons interchangeables. Yeah, it's better like this, right? I like those needles a lot, but I'm still a wood girl. I love wooden needles. So, I have 2 balls of this yarn. I'm gonna knit just until I run out, bind off, seam it up, and that's it. Super easy. I just had to look at the pattern twice maybe to have it memorized, and now I'm gonna work on it whenever I want to knit, which is like never. And I have a question, because I've never shown the bags that I use, because I don't know if that's really interesting to anyone. So please leave a comment and tell me, do you want to know what bags I use and the maker of the bag, or is it not that important to you? Tell me, please tell me, because I don't know. I'm happily going to show them if anyone is interested, but I don't want to spend time talking about stuff no one really wants to know. Okay, that's it for knitting in the present. That's all I'm working on, and like I said, I'm not really working on that, so yeah, okay. Knitting in the future. As my mojo is like nowhere found, I don't have real plans for knitting in the future. The only thing I want to do is work through my Christmas list. Like I said, it's super long, and with my current love for knitting, I'm not sure if anyone will get knitted gifts, but we'll see. So, the Christmas list, then work through some UFOs and other started things, and of course I want to knit socks, because I always want to knit socks. And I really think about casting some new socks on just to get my mojo back, but on the other hand there are, I think, 6 started pairs of socks that I could work on, and I don't want to, so I don't know if that's a good idea or not. Okay. Haha, it's gonna be a very short episode, I think. Now, spinning. I've been spinning a lot, really, a lot, but all the yarns that I've finished so far are super wet because I just finished them the other day. But I can show you what I'm working on currently. It's on the spindle. You cannot see the colors at all, and I'm very sorry about that. Yeah, okay. This is my KCL Wood spindle. It's beautiful. It's one of the modular spindles that he does, where you can screw off the whirl and attach a new shaft. And I like this spindle a lot because I can use it for all the plies. It's always the same weight of spindle, and it's just, it spins great. So what I'm spinning with this are some Bakewell Rolex. I'm gonna show one of them to you. They look like this. I ordered quite a lot of her stuff, and I'm gonna show it to you in a second. And I decided on this one to spin up first, which was a little thank you that she put in with my order. There are 5 of those, and I spun 1.5 so far. And I love spinning them. They are super smooth. They spin like butter. And yeah, it's just, I enjoy it a lot. But I just don't find the time to sit down and spindle as much as I would love to. So, that's my spinning. I'm going to show all the finished skeins next week when they're dry again. So, that's that for spinning. Now, on to new stuff. Like I said, I ordered stuff from Bakewell Bats. Hello, Marlene. Ooh, the other cat decided to come by. Hi. And he's gone again. So, okay, back to the Bakewell Hearts stuff. Bakewell Hearts is an Etsy shop. She is based in England. And she does amazing Rolex and bats. So, I'm not gonna take, oh, I have to take them out, do I? sorry. I'm gonna show one of the Rolex of each set that I got. So, I got this set. Okay, it's two. I got two in one in my hands. It's very, very lightish pink with a turquoise and a purple. Maybe that's okay here. See? I don't podcast for 6 weeks and lighting still sucks for me. So there are, I think, 8 or 10 of those in a pack. And I think I'm gonna use them in one big project sometime. Whenever I finish spinning them. Maybe some kind of shawl. So that's one pack. Then because when I start ordering stuff, I just cannot contain myself. Is that the right word? I don't know. That's the next set. It's different shades of green and a super bright pink. Then another set. I think that one's called, what was it called? Tutti Frutti. It's super bright. It has basically all the colors. That's not too bad. And then I got a 2-colored set. It's Batman and the Joker. Because if you know me, you know that I love Batman. Because Batman has the coolest villains ever. So, this one here is the Batman Rolex. The color. And this one is the Joker. They are super amazing. They are my favorites by far. So those are the Rolex that I got. And of course I didn't stop there because that would have been, you know, wise, smart. I decided to get more. And I got 2 bats, and I'm not gonna take those out. I hope I can show them somehow to you. Of course I can't. I'm still not gonna take them out. This one here is different shades of brown with blue, yellow, white, and orange. And this one here is blues, whites, and orange. Maybe if I hold it back here, it's better. Not really. Ow! My cat's back. And then, of course, I had to get one of her Bakewell boxes, which are a very cool thing because they are made of different fiber crafts. There's a bat in here, there's Rolex in here. I'm just gonna show it to you like this. See? There's a bat, there are some like very thick Rolex. And then there's just normal Rolex, batlats, which are like the fuzzlings or hobbledehoy batlings. I think they're called batlings, right? They're called batlats. So I look forward to spin this, and you can get this box in her shop in different weights. You can get 100 grams, 150 or 200, and you can also custom order with your favorite colors. So I did just a surprise me box, I think with 200 grams. And now I'm not able to close it. I'm just gonna put it somewhere. And that's my Bakewell Bats, Bakewell Hearts acquisitions. I highly recommend her shop. And Gizmo. She's also my indie of the week. So please go check her out. Like I said, her shop is on Etsy. She has a wonderful Instagram feed where she shows everything she puts up in her shop. And yeah, like I said, I highly recommend her. Okay, he decided to lay down in front of me, and I'm really hoping that this will work out. Not like last time where the camera got knocked over twice, but we'll see. Okay, I have some more news things, because if you don't knit, you need to buy yarn, right? Okay, I got a skein of yarn from my mom. It's a skein of Opal yarn from the newest Opal Abo, which is the yarn club they do. I don't know why this thing is not focusing for me today. Okay, it is focusing, but the lighting is weird. So that's the color. I love this very much. And I'm gonna knit socks for myself out of it someday. I also got the Isolde Shawl Club. So if you are in the club and you have not gotten your yarn, look away for a second, because I'm gonna show mine because I'm very much in love with it. This is not heavenly white like it looks. It's a nice, very light gray. So I'm not able to show you the color. It's a skein of yarn. And the cool thing about it is it's 50% organic merino, 40% organic polworth, and 10% gray swarbles. I have no idea how to say that, but it's some kind of sheep. And it's spun by John Arbon Textiles, especially for the club. And I'm in love with it. And I'm gonna knit the shawl that it's, you know, made for. The only thing I don't like about it this time is it does never tell you how much it is. I mean, of course I can weigh it, but that doesn't give me yardage, and I'm not gonna run it through a meter counter. No. I would have loved it if the cart told me about that. So, can't have everything, right? The last thing that not the last thing that I got, but the last thing that I'm going to show today is an order from Fat Cat Knits. I love her stuff. I've always loved her stuff, and I have not ordered from her in years. And it really was about time to do that. So I ordered some of her hand-pulled blended tops. Gonna open it up and take a little bit out of the bag. That's exactly the color. It's white and black with an electric or acidy green, almost turquoise, and a pink. This one's called Minty Fresh. And then I got this one here. I'm gonna open up as well. It's called Ice Princess. And it's black and white with a little bit of pink. Oh man. Yeah, and a lot of sparkle. And it really is very light. There's some light blue in there as well. I'm gonna spin those up separately, but I think about using them in a striped shawl of some sorts. I don't know yet. And also I got a sock blank from her, because sock blanks are the coolest thing right now. Everyone does them. And it's super fun because sock blanks were super duper cool, I think maybe 7 or 8 years ago. I remember, because I did dye some myself. I knit some and I participated in sock blank swaps and everything, because they were, like I said, super cool back then. And now they are again, and I got one from Fat Cat Knits, which is a one of a kind, I think. It's single stranded, which means that I'm gonna get 2 very different socks from this. There are also double stranded sock blanks where you can get 2 super identical socks. And I got some of those as well, but I'm gonna show them next time. So, that's it for new stuff. Like I said, no it's not. I have a book. Okay. I got myself, great, right? I got myself the Defarged Shakespeare. I know, lighting is weird. I'm gonna try and make it better next time. This is the third book in the installment, and that's exactly why I got it. I got the first 2 books, and I wanted to have this one as well. And there are really there are a lot of quite good patterns in here that I want to knit. So I recommend it, but it is very expensive, I think. It was about 30 euros, which is really a lot for a knitting book. They are normally not that expensive. Oh, jetzt? This is Merlin, the other cat. He looks exactly like Gizmo, so you won't be able to tell a difference. Schatz. Now I have 2 cats in front of me. That's awesome. Gizmo just left. Good. Merlin, gehst du bitte aufs Fensterbrett und kannst du das nicht umschmeißen? He's behind the camera now, and I don't know if that is gonna work. Lass das. Leg dich hin. Good. Okay, that's it for new stuff. Now, like I said before, Bakewell Hearts is my indie of the week. Please go check her out. She's in England, like I said before, and I'm still trying to do my indies based in Germany or Europe. So, England is in Europe, go check her out. Okay, now, I decided to get to have a new section, which is called Reading, which is because I'm a genius and I find the best names. Because that's what I've been doing lately. I've been reading a lot. We came home from the hospital, I think, 4.5 weeks ago, and I read 7 books in the time. Which is a lot, because I still have a newborn baby, so there's other things to do. But I decided to show you some of the books, because most of them were part of a series that I finished. And I'm going to talk about that series and just going to show 1 book, because why bring down 4 books that look almost exactly the same? So I'm going to start with the 1 book that I read first. Merlin, was machst du jetzt? Komm. Na komm. Ja, gut. Tschüss. The first book that I read is called Der Killer im Lorbeer. No, this is gonna be awesome because the books are white. I'm not able to show you anything of this book. I'm gonna hold back here. Not better. It's called Der Killer im Lorbeer. It's by Arthur Askroyn. He's English. The original title, that should be here somewhere. Maybe not. Huh. Normally, books tell you the original title. This one doesn't. Maybe in the back? Okay. I cannot tell you the original title because it just doesn't tell me. Like I said, which is weird because they normally print that in the book. Okay. It's a British crime novel. And I'm still trying to show you a little bit about the book. It's not possible. No. Forget about it. It's a crime novel. Like British crime. It's not very bloody. It's just, someone ends up dead and they have to find out what happened. And that's exactly what they do. It's the first book in a series about Arthur Askroyn because he decided to make himself the center person of his books, which is, I think, a bit weird. But, yeah, he can do whatever he wants to do. So, it's the first book, like I said, in a series. I have 3 of the books, which are the 3 books that are available in German. And I'll continue reading the books because it was nice. But it was a bit weird because this book is written in the present tense. Normally, almost all the books I've read in my life were written in the past tense, which just is easier for me to read, because reading in the present tense is just weird. I don't know. It took me a while to get into the book, but I really liked the story, so I'm gonna continue the series. And yeah, so first thing. Then the next thing that I read were 4 books in the Mythos Academy series by Jennifer Estep. Those books are available in English, of course, because she is American. This book that I brought here is the last book, which you can't tell at all because it's white. It's called Frostkiller in German. The English title, interestingly enough, is Killer Frost, which is the same, just, swapped out the 2 words. It's a series. It's a young adult fantasy series. And it's... the cool thing about it is that it's not about vampires or werewolves or angels or fairies or anything that's, hyped right now. It's about... what's the word? All old warriors from mythological stories or just history. There's Spartans and Amazons. Is that the word? Amazone is the German word? I don't know. There are Valkyrian, Vikings and ninjas and everything like that, and they go to a special school, of course, which is like boarding school, and then they learn how to fight because they have to prevent Loki coming back to destroy the world. That's the basic story. There's a heroine, of course, and she falls in love with the hottest guy, of course. She has to save the world. That's very cliche, but the story itself is pretty cool, and I read 4 of those books within, I think, 7 days. So I really highly recommend this series. It's called Mythos Academy series by Jennifer Estep. And then I read a book that I'm just going to show you for, my own amusement. I'm going to try. It's not going to work. This is just stupid. This book, I don't mean the book. I mean the book is not that great as well, but the lighting stuff. This book is called Blind Date mit einem Vampir. The English title should be in here. The English title is A Girl's Guide to Vampires. I got this from a friend, and she told me that's the book, and I had to read it because it's awesomely good. And I just... It's fun, but not because it's funnily written, but because all the protagonists in this book behave like teenagers in their high point of puberty, and they're all in their mid-20s. So I just had to laugh because they behaved like idiots almost all of the time. But it was a fun read. So if you want to read something that makes you laugh out loud a lot, I highly recommend this book. If you're offended by sex scenes, do not read this book, because there are quite a lot of them. And if you expect a super duper vampire story, you should not read this book, because there is a vampire, but he's there. But that's it. So, it's weird, but fun to read. Go ahead if you want to. But if I were you, I would try to get it from the library and not pay any money for it, because it's not worth it. Oh, I didn't tell you who it is by. It's by Katie McAllister. And like I said, the English title is A Girl's Guide to Vampires. And after I finished this, I had to go back to something that's better. I hoped it was better, and it really is. It's Zurück nach Holly Hill. Oh, that's good. I'm gonna show you the spine. There's no English title for this book because the author is a German. It's by Alexandra Pilz, and it's a young adult fantasy time travel series. It's the first book in the series. There's a second book, and I'm reading that right now. There will be a third book, and I read on her blog that it's going to be published somewhere in winter this year. So I don't know if it's going to be a trilogy or a real series, or it's going to be continued after this. I just don't know. The only thing I know so far is that the first book does not end with a cliffhanger. It just ends like a normal book. So you could stop reading the series after the first book. So for all my German viewers, I know there are some out there. Zurück nach Holly Hill by Alexandra Pilz is a real nice book. It's a fast and easy read, and I recommend it a lot. So to all the Americans out there, I'm very sorry. I hope it will be out there in English sometime. But yeah, I can't change that. Okay, that's it for my reading, which leaves me with everything else. I can show you one more thing that I did sew. I did seam up another Ras pants for my baby. The pattern, like I said, is Ras by Nähfrosch, which is a German blogger. It's a free download. It's super easy to make, and I made 3 of those, and we used them a lot. Hello, Gizmo. So that's that. The other thing I want to talk about is the shawl knit along that's going on. I originally planned on having it end at the end of May, but now I decided to have it go until my next podcast, because I wanted to talk about it once more before I end it. And as I didn't podcast before today, I decided to just not stop, because I want everyone to be able to get their shawls in, and I want to be able to remind everyone of the knit along. So if you have finished any shawls between May 1st and today, just go ahead and enter them into the thread, Gizmo. And you'll be able to win one of 2 prizes, which I'm going to show next time when I draw for the winner, because next podcast is the end of the shawl knit along. Whenever this podcast is going to be happening. So please, please, please go ahead and enter all your finished shawls. Okay, which leaves me with the last thing on my show notes. Now that we are going to finish the shawl knit along, I wanted to ask if you're interested in doing another knit along with me. And if so, if you have any suggestions for what we should knit together. Socks, maybe, or I don't know, scraps. Just tell me if you are interested, and if so, what kind of knitting you want to do. And we'll make that happen. And that's it. That's all I had on my show notes. I managed to talk for almost 34 minutes, which is weird because there was absolutely no knitting or spinning. But okay. I hope to talk to you next week. Maybe. We'll see. I'm gonna try to talk to you again next week. And I hope you have had a wonderful May. I hope you are okay. I hope everything is going the way you want it to go. And that's it. I hope you have a wonderful week. Enjoy everything you do. Until next time. Bye.